This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
It was submitted as a blind submission from Arkansas. It was called Whippoorwill Publishing Companies, and they'd published 75 copies of this book called The Rebel Outlaw Josey Wales. And it had such a bad cover on it that I never really read it right away. I had it sitting on my desk for about 2 weeks. I read it the next night, and then I read it, and I just fell in love with it right away and wanted to make it right away. That impressed me about the book was the whole treatment of war in general and the futility of it.
Unforgiven was an interesting project in my life because I first, and I read it and I fell absolutely in love with it. This was in 1981. I took the script and at that time put it in a drawer. I figured maybe I should be just a little bit older to do this character. And so I put it in a drawer, and then all of a sudden about 1990 I realized, well, I've still got this script in the drawer. Maybe I ought to take it out and look at it before I get too old to do it. So, and the thing that was interesting about this script, the first time I read it, I didn't know who the hero was until well into the picture, because I thought it was the character Gene Hackman played of Little Bill. I thought he was the hero until all of a sudden he started doing kind of wild things. And but what I liked about the story is that the characters all had a point of view, and even though he was the villain in the piece, he had a point of view. He thought he was right and doing the right thing. And that goes with every character in it. So, and not since the Outlaw Josey Wales in 1976 had I had a script of a Western genre that I had felt was the equivalent of that.
We mixed, we loaded it, we edited it.
Sometimes we get so deep into conversation that we have separate segments worthy of their own place in the sun.
Here is a reshuffled mini episode.
Suddenly, his wife and child were dead. The feud was about to begin.
Hound this Wales to kingdom come.
Because of what you did here today, I've got to kill that man.
Well, he'll have to run for it now. And hell is where he's headed.
Clint Eastwood is the outlaw Josey Wales.
Well, not a hard man to track. Leaves dead men wherever he goes. Get out of the way!
If I get to liking someone, they ain't around long.
I notice when you get to disliking someone, they ain't around for long either.
Well, the one that everyone's so scared of. Yeah. We got the Josey Wales, Abe. We got reward money coming.
You're wanted, Wales.
You a bounty hunter?
Yeah, he's got to do something for a living these days.
Dying ain't much of a living, boy.
He was out for revenge, and they were out for his blood. And when you're an outlaw, there's no turning back.
You're all alone now, Wales.
Not quite alone.
He lives by the gun. He lives by his word. And he lives for revenge. He's an army of one. Clint Eastwood is the outlaw Josey Wales.
Outlaw Josey Wales is another one just because I like a lot of the side characters now, like Chief Dan George, really like great in that movie.
Yeah, great camera work, great scenery, great bit part actors.
And then,
good shit.
How about being my partner? Gonna kill a couple of no-good cowboys.
For what?
For cutting up a lady.
It was a time when lawmen were killers. Outlaws were heroes.
So you still have that Spencer rifle, huh?
And a bad reputation.
I've always been lucky when it comes to killing folks.
Was as good as gold. Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, Richard Harris. Unforgiven. Rated R. Starts Friday, August 7th.
Clint has just such a huge resume. So if you were to just tell anyone to just get into his movies.
I would say Unforgiven. Unforgiven is a really good movie. When I did my deep dive a couple years ago, I found that one with Morgan Freeman. Again, Westerns. I'm kind of new to Westerns and all that stuff too. So when I was going back and watching them, I was just like, they're slow burns. I'm people of my generation are used to the Avengers, all this, action, Michael Bay, boom, boom, boom. And, I'm not going to diss on those kind of movies. I love, explosions as most of the Musk guy.
They can be very fun.
Yeah, they're fun. But so every once in a while, it's nice to get the same kind of intensity, but dialed way, way back with the Western. I think a Western was like the modern day action film back in the day because it's all the guns and stuff, the shooting and everything. It's really action packed for maybe a minute or 2 minutes on screen, and then it's just it dials back and then it goes back up when it needs to, when the time occurs. I think Unforgiven is really good with that. Just the stakes. So I would put that up there as well.
Unforgiven, I just really love because, for one, I think it was the first time I'd seen a movie with Gene Hackman playing a more sinister role.
He's a good guy, a well-intended bad guy.
Yeah,
who should be the good guy, but he's a sheriff who.
I had seen him in
pretty inept.
Stuff where he's definitely more on the good side of things, but in this he's this corrupt sheriff and just doing these horrible things and when he humiliates English Bob.
And you have to remind everyone, this is an anti-violent movie, and I see so many people, they miss the point of this movie, they want more bloodshed. I'm the whole point is a man who can't be a good father, but loves his kids, but can't show his compassion, who's a merc, but doesn't want to do those kind of hitman jobs anymore, and it's just one of those, it kind of makes sense why that script was in the vault for so many times. No one knew what to do with it, except Clint, who was so many sides, so many genres, so...
used to be this cold-hearted killer, then somehow settled down, had a family, but then had to be roped back into it to help out his family, to help out his kids.
Absolutely.
Had to refine that killer instinct.
For sure.
So I love the bits in that movie where with Clayton was talking to that novelist guy, telling him some stories that English Bob had told him that were misinformed.
Most of the things I've talked about have been positive. I'm going to try to do one negative, but it's sort of a weird negative with a twist. I like Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood does a lot of good stuff. This is about the movie Unforgiven. Clint Eastwood directs it well. He acts well. Morgan Freeman's really good in it. And I had to pull up the IMDb because I didn't know this other guy's name. There are large chunks of Unforgiven where Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, and an actor named James Woolvett, who plays the Schofield kid, the one who wants to hang out with Bill Money and shoot people, that those three are talking. And Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman are two of the greatest actors of all time. But you can put dialogue in front of them and they will say it. And even though it's Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman, it sounds like the characters in the movie saying the lines in the dialogue. And with the other guy, I just remember thinking the whole time, it's this just sounds like someone's holding up cue cards and he's reading it off the script. This is clearly an actor reading dialogue for him. He is not embodying the role. And part of it is just that Eastwood and Freeman are so good that it really sticks out. To a degree, I maybe feel bad for that guy, that he just got acted off the screen in such a dramatic way. Rest of the movie's really good, but when you watch it, it's oh man, look at all these great actors doing a great job. And then that guy just really sticks out like a sore thumb. You're just oh, yeah, that could have been better.
Come here, girl.
Let go of me.
Ever come across somebody you shouldn't have messed with? That's me.
You crazy, man. Get out of here.
watch your back.
You're a hero to the neighborhood because you saved Hal.
What are you gonna do, Walt?
I finish things. That's what I do.
Gran Torino, rated R. Now playing in select cities. Opens everywhere January 9th.
You got to put Gran Torino in there if you, because that's probably his best movie. I feel like that he's been in the last couple of years. Well, excluding the Mule, of course, because the Mule is gold.
Because it was a throwback to his earlier roles. Well, it's a special Man on Fire, High Noon story. Yeah,
because he's basically, he's that old guy. He's like the badass, but the old guy, like in your lawn, who and he just when he went up to those guys, those gangsters, and just had his hand and put out his fingers, and it was so cool. That's when I was like, who is this man? This mythical creature. I need to know more about this man. So I think Gran Torino would have to be in there.
The first movie I ever got to see in theaters was actually Gran Torino.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then I got to see a re-release of Unforgiven, which I had seen a few times in the past, but that was my first time getting to see it in theaters. It had a introduction as well, like they were doing a retrospect interviewing Clint about it, so that was cool to see as well beforehand. I always like that with older movie screens when they have like an introduction by somebody talking about the movie. Or if they have the director themselves, like they did that with Mel Brooks for the 50th anniversary of The Producers. Had a talk with him before the movie. So, and that was my friend who went to see it with me. That was his first time seeing the movie, but he had heard of it.
Very wild, and I'm sure that had to be a great experience, just reliving that, especially with the Q&A panel.
Oh yeah, that was real fun. And so since then, I've seen various movies of his over time that he's both directed and starred in. Like I really liked Outlaw Josey Wales.
Sure.
I also just like
shut your fucking face.
There's also a relationship he has with the Hmong neighbor Tao, or Toad as he keeps calling him. Also, the scenes of him like at his wife's funeral, because like I myself was raised Catholic, so like the scenes of his grandkids like just kind of casually genuflecting, just like Jesus.
One with a football jersey.
Yeah, like one girl with like on her face, like also his interactions with the young priest who like is like, what would you know? You're just some 20-something virgin.
Right.
And then it's like and then like his he finds more fulfillment from helping out this stranger than like than he gets from his grandkids who don't seem to want to do anything to do with him.
Exactly.
Well, my wife has always been very fond of like John Wayne movies.
Oh, so there you go.
And I'm the kind of guy I prefer like Unforgiven.
You like a lot of the spaghetti western or Clint Eastwood beat gray area. I mean, and Unforgiven, it is amazing how I don't understand why so many people just didn't get it back then. I'm like, it was pretty obvious. It's even if you don't agree with the whole anti-violence stance, like it's just showing a guy who shouldn't be the hero, but is like the best thing in this rundown town. Just and
a role that he was reprising Gran Torino.
I did kind of consider that the unofficial. I've always for years said, Outlaw Josey Wales started his unofficial gunfighter, and then Unforgiven was the older version of Josey Wales, and then Gran Torino's like the fifth generation.
Have you read Preacher, Kim?
I've only seen the show.
Oh, okay.
But it is a Western inspired kind of.
Well, Garth Ennis created the Saint of Killers based on Clint Eastwood's character in Unforgiven.
And I always forget his name. It's a very awesome name. Unforgiven.
Will Penny, I thought.
I think you're right. Okay.
Which was a name in some other movies, like with Burt Lancaster or something, I think. Wasn't there actually a movie called Will Penny?
I think
there
might have been.
I think you're doing yes. Yep. Bingo. Yeah. Charlton Heston, Donald Pleasance. Okay,
and you'll have to double check the Unforgiven, but I think his name was Will Penny in that.
Yeah, no, you're right. Well, it's William Mooney, but
Mooney. Okay.
Either way, pretty close. I love Richard Harris in that movie quite a lot. I'm just like I love how he's like the rival bounty hunter, and
he gets sent packing.
Yeah, I like how he's like, you have no need for my services, and I mean. That was definitely one of the first tough guy roles I saw for Morgan Freeman. I know we play up his narrated mode. It's too easy, but I mean, incredible acting. I'm just like, and what better motivation do you need? I mean, aside from it starting him and Clint's various collaborations, I always just dug how it's like I mean, they have that dispute with who's going to split X amount of the contract, and then it turns out that the people who hire them aren't going to honor their deal, and then they just leave them, beat them up, and leave them for dead. And I also just love how, again, Gene Hackman is the perfect essence of his little Bill is a perfect essence of a villain, and what better to have him be a incompetent sheriff? Is like everything he does makes it worse, and a lot of people don't pick up on that. They're just like, oh, he's just a good actor playing a cliche role. I'm like,
well, that's
it's a cliche, but it's real.
And that's not the only Western where he played a bad guy too.
No, it's absolutely not the first. He can play a bad guy in his sleep, but it was the best kind of villain. I was like, and so I think when I saw him in Crimson Tide and all his other gray area movies, it's like, I like this. I mean, even the conversation, he's a spy who's having to live with the fact that he got other people killed. It's just, I was just like, yeah, he thinks he's doing a service, and really he's making more dysfunctional and clumsy shit happen in this town. He's not good at his job. He shouldn't be a sheriff.
He's driven by ego.
Ego, yeah. He's like, well, I told you this wasn't gonna turn out well. I'm like, dude, listen to yourself now. But yeah, Gran Torino, that's another movie. It should not work at all, but it's totally a fun, like, before Taken, it was like kind of after Man on Fire is like, here, let's have Clint take this fun script about, again, a dysfunctional widowed man who becomes close with some teenagers, and basically they're in a ghetto with a lot of South Korean thugs picking on these other kids, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna hit them back. And I just love how he's taunting the gangsters by making it look like he's pointing at them like an invisible gun.
Would you say that was his last good movie?
He's had some other fun stuff, but he has had some duds in recent years.
Well, like the most recent one I can think of is him, and I don't remember who the lady is he's married to in that, but him and his wife go looking for their grandson, I think it is. And it's a recent movie.
Oh, you're talking about there was this one Dole movie he did where he was searching around the desert and hanging out with some Mexican friends of his.
He was trying to find his grandson, I think. I can't remember what it was, but it was not very compelling, I didn't think.
I think I know the one you're talking about. I didn't mind the mule. It was very cliche and had some stupid stuff in it. It was like, there's no way this guy's getting laid at this age. No way. But God, I think I know the one you're talking about. I know he did a legal movie recently that a lot of people said was pretty dull, but I know
a modern day Legal.
Yeah, like it just wasn't very compelling or well acted. But I know John Mark, who you've seen on here in the past, really liked the Richard Jewell movie he did. I kind of preferred a different dramatization of it, but the actor they hired was good. Did you see Sully, where the real life plane disaster movie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't seen that.
I didn't mind it, but J. Edgar and American Sniper were both just such a crock. But Invictus, I would totally recommend. It's just a really fun, Nelson Mandela inspiring this South African soccer team. But
so DiCaprio, he played J. Edgar, right?
Yeah, and it was just one of those.
I didn't see the movie. Did he ever did he ever wear a dress?
No, but there was definitely gay subtext, but it was one of those, he's a great man. I'm like, oh, Clint, you did not do any research.
Yeah.
Not even close. But yeah, there was this one, I think I know the one you're talking about, where he was in the desert and Cry Macho, that's the one.
That's it. That was
and
it.
I was just like, kill me now. I'm just like, Trouble with the Curve, I guess, was okay. Not needed, but I was like, okay. But I can understand why he's launched all the, why Space Cowboys and $1 Million Baby and Gran Torino speak high volumes to many people, just because he makes the cliches real, even though he does make the mistake of hiring his girlfriends to be his co-stars. And it's like, Clint, Sandra Bullock is not an actress. Don't do that, man. Stop.
Well, I mean, when they broke up, they did stop.
Yes, they did. They had to. I still have got this one movie on my hard drive that I have not seen. So Ken Watanabe of The Last Samurai and Letters from Iwo Jima. So there's the Clint Eastwood connection. In 2013 did do kind of a modern like samurai kind of remake, like a Japanese Yakuza version of Unforgiven, if you will. It was, from what I've seen, it looks pretty interesting.
What was this again?
Kim Watanabe remade Unforgiven.
Oh, okay. Remade it, so it came out later.
Yes, 2013, and it was subtitled, and it's not easily available. But from what I've seen of it, it looks actually pretty decent. Like it was just trying to do a different spin on it instead of just let's copy beat after beat like most remakes. I'm glad you guys brought up. I mean, Josey Wales was another one. I would always see parts of it and be like, this looks very compelling. And I can understand why Morgan Freeman wanted to work with Clint Eastwood for years, because that was one of his favorite. Josey Wales was one of his favorite westerns growing up. And when I look back at it now, I don't understand why it did so bad, because it had just as many, much action as all his spaghetti westerns and earlier efforts.
Was that kind of his first American effort? I can't remember if that was. Or...
He had done a lot of American movies, but yeah, it was definitely one of the first ones where he helmed it, and he was behind the camera. He was helping out the scripts. He was saying, Don Siegel can't direct every hit movie I do. I got to rework this, and I think that's why I think I see not only why so many actors just love taking direction from him, because he wants to get the emotion and mood right, but also wants to give them a performance they can be proud of. But when he looks at scripts, I understand him. I mean, especially David Webb Peoples of Blade Runner fame, he wrote Unforgiven years ago, but it just languished in like a vault at Warner Brothers for years. And so much like Josey Wales, both it and Unforgiven, I think the reason they hit so hard is just Clint saw just some interesting spin he could do on that genre, and they were just very compelling reads for whatever reason. And so for a while, I think when I think of a cowboy, I inevitably I can understand why someone would do a John Wayne or a Clint Eastwood impression. He just was kind of the face of the genre. He's just he's got
the face of the 70s for sure.
Oh yeah,
and then into the 80s, yeah.
And even when I see a movie by him where I'm like, this is a flop, I'm like, but I understand it. It much like how Scorsese's going to pimp out DiCaprio or De Niro in everything he does, much like Spielberg's going to get Tom Hanks and other fellow cohorts to get a great performance. It's like, it is one of those names like, oh, Clint Eastwood. Oh, he is he reminds us of all our grumpy uncles or grandpas who just have a lot of courage to just do something that even if they shouldn't, they're going to do it anyway. He's just so brave. I don't know why he's brave and why that, but it just works, especially from a movie star perspective.
He's in his 90s now, isn't he?
Yeah. So Clint Eastwood, he's getting up there. I could have sworn he was 85 or 95. He is now, holy fuck, he is 94 years old as of this recording.
95?
94, but yeah, he'll be 95 the rest of this year. I'm like, Jesus. So that's awesome. Oh.
Well, him and Gene Hackman were the same age then. Or close to it. Gene Hackman was 95.
Oh, yeah. I still can't get over it. I will get over it. It's a lot to take in. I still am processing that. I'm like, can we at least, I want to respect anyone's family and give them privacy and not be exploited by the media. But at the same time, I kind of would like some answers. I'm like, that dude, I hope you find out what happened to him. That's not cool.
Well, they've told you what they think happened.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation. I'm just like, well, I guess maybe we won't know. Maybe maybe that's the real life Western legend.
Yeah, you're gonna die the way. Yeah. And the sad part, I mean, he lived a long life. I don't know how much younger his wife was.
She was like in her 60s, and so that's 60s.
So she died like, fairly young then.
Yeah, as there people are like, she tripped or something. I'm like, geez, really? Oh.
But he lived a long. I mean, he lived to 95. That's a good age.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Oh my word! No, I'm looking this up. They did apparently a very bad Josey Wales unofficial sequel with Michael Parks directing and playing.
With Michael Parks?
Yeah. Rest in peace. I had no idea.
I guess we'll have to watch it to judge it, but maybe it's like Lee Majors doing High Noon 2. Who knows?
Maybe. A lot of rating. That's the other problem too. I understand it. It's easy to jump into, oh, well, IMDb said it sucked. It's like, yeah, well, it probably wasn't made for them. You know, it doesn't have to be Shakespeare to be good.
We'll return after these messages.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up